Hello, Mark. I'm Adam. My number is S0341008, and my label is sophomore. Today I'll read Hugh, Herr, the new bionics that let us run, climb, and dance for you. Looking deeply inside nature, through the magnifying glass of science, designers extract principles, processes, and materials that are forming the very basis of design methodology. From synthetic constructs that resemble biological materials to computational methods that emulate na- natural process. Nature is driving design. Design is also driving nature. In realms of genetics, regenerative medicine, and synthetic biology, designers are growing novel technologies, not foreseen or anticipated by nature. Bionics explores the interplay between biology and design. As you can see, my legs are bionic. Today I will let human stories of bionic integration, how electromechanics attack to the body and implanted inside the body are beginning to bridge the gap between disability and ability, between human limitation and human potential. Bionics has defined my physicality. In 1982, both of my legs were amputated due to tissue damage from frostbite incurred during a mountain climbing accident. At that time, I didn't view my body as broken. I reasoned that a human being can never be broken. Technology is broken. Technology is adequate. This simple but powerful idea was to call to arms, to advance technology for the elimination of my own disability, and ultimately, the disability of others. I begin by developing specialized light that allow me to return to a vertical world of rock and ice climb. I quickly realized that the artificial part of my body is malleable, able to take on any form, any function, a blank slate of which to create, perhaps, structures that could extend beyond biological capability. I made my head adjustable. I could be as short as 5 feet or as tall as I'd like. So when I was feeling bad about myself, insecure, I would jack my head up. But when I was feeling confident and shy, I would knock my head down a notch, just to give the competition a chance. Narrow edge feet allow me to climb steep rock fissures, where the human foot cannot penetrate, and spiked feet enable me to climb vertical ice walls, without ever experiencing non-stop leg fatigue. Through technological innovation, I returned to my sport, stronger and better. Technology had eliminated my disability and allowed me a new climb process. As a young man, I imagined a future world where technology so advanced could rid the world of disability. a world in which neural implants will allow the visual impaired to see, a world in which the paralyzed could walk via body exoskeletons. Sadly, because of deficiencies in technology, disability is rampant in our world. This gentleman is missing 3 lives. As a testimony to current technology, he is out of wheelchair, but we need to do a better job in bionics to allow one day full rehabilitation for a person with this level of injury. At the NIT Media Lab, we've established the Center for Extreme Bionics. The mission of the center is to put both fundamental science and technological capability that will allow the biomechatronic and regenerative repair of humans across a broad range of brain and body disabilities. Today I'm going to tell you how my legs function, how they work, as a case in point for this center. Now I made sure to shave my legs last night, because I know that I just showing them off. Ah, bionics entails the engineering of extreme interfaces. There's 3 extreme interfaces in my bionic lines. Mechanical, how my lines are attached to my biological body. Dynamic, how they move like flesh and bone. And electrical, how they communicate with my nervous system. I'll begin with mechanical interface. In the area of design, we still do not understand how to attach devices to a body mechanically. It's extraordinary to me that in this day and age, one of the most mature, oldest technologies in the human timeline, the show, still give us blisters. How can this be? We have no idea how to attach things to our bodies. This is the beautifully lyrical design work of Professor Nery Oxman at the NIT Media Lab, showing spectacularly varying exoskeletal impedances, shown here by color variation in the 3D printed model. Imagine a future where clothing is stiff and soft where you need it, when you need it, for optimal support and flexibility, without ever causing discomfort. My bionic lines are attached to my biological body via synthetic skins with stiffness variations that mirror my underlying tissue biomechanics. To achieve that mirroring, we first developed a mathematical model of my biological line. To that end, we use imaging tools such as NRL to look inside my body to figure out the geometries and the locations of various tissues. We also took robotic tools. Here's a 14 actuator circle that goes around the biological line. The actuators can find the surface of the line, measure its unloaded shape, and then they push on the tissues to measure tissue compliance at each anatomic point. We combine this imaging and robotic data to build a mathematical description of my biological line, shown on the left. You see a bunch of points or nodes. At each node, there's a color that represents tissue compliance. We then do a mathematical transformation to the design of the synthetic skin, shown on the right, and we have discovered ultimately is when the body is stiff, the synthetic skin should be soft. When the body is soft, the synthetic skin is stiff, and this mirroring occurs across all tissues compliances. With this framework, we'll produce bionic lines that are the most comfortable lines I've ever worn. Clearly in the future, our clothing, our shoes, our braces, our prosthetics will no longer be designed and manufactured using artisan strategies, but rather data-driven quantitative framework. In that future, our shoes will no longer give us blisters. We are also embedding sensing and smart materials into the synthetic skins. This is a material developed by SRL International, California, under electrostatic effort. It changes stiffness, so under zero voltage, the material is complement. It is floppy like paper, and the buttons push a voltage is applied and it becomes stiff as a board. We embed this material into the synthetic skin that attack my bionic line to my biological body. When I walk here, it's no voltage. My interface is soft and complete. The buttons push voltage and is applied, and it stiffens, offering me a greater maneuverability over the bionic line. We are also building exoskeletons. These exoskeletons becomes stiff and soft in just the right areas of the running cycle, protect the biological joints from high impacts and degradation. In that future, we'll be wearing exoskeletons in common activities, such as running. Next, dynamic interface. How do my bionic knives move like flesh and bone? At my NIT lab, we study how humans with normal physiology stand, walk and run. What are the muscles doing, and how are they controlled by the spinal cord? This basic science motivated what we built. We are building bionic ankles, knees and hips. We are building body parts from the ground up. The bionic lines that I'm wearing are called BIONS. They've been fitted to nearly 1,000 patients, 400 of which we have been wounded US soldiers. How does it work? At Hughes track, under computer control, the system controls stiffness to attenuate the shock of the line hitting the ground. Then at mid-stance, the bionic line outputs high torques and powers to lift the person into the walking stride, comparable to how muscles work in the calf region. This bionic proportion is very important clinically to patients. So on the left, you see the bionic device worn by a lady. On the right, a passive device worn by the same lady that fails to emulate normal muscle function, enabling her to do something everyone should be able to do: go up and down the steps at home. Bionics also allow for extraordinary athletic feats. Here's a gentleman running up a rocky pathway. This is Dave Martin, not a comedian, who lost his legs in a bomb blast in Afghanistan. We are also building exoskeletal structures using these same principles that wrap around a biological life. This gentleman does not have any leg condition, any disability. He has a normal physiology, so these exoskeletons are applying muscle-like torques and powers, so that his own muscles need not apply those torques and powers. This is the first exoskeletons in history that actually augments human walking. It significantly reduces metabolic cost. It's so profound in its argumentation that when a normal, healthy person wears the device for 40 minutes and then take it off, their own biological legs feel ridiculously heavy and awkward. We are beginning the age in which a choice attack to our bodies will make us stronger and faster and more efficient. Moving on to electrical interface. How do my bionic legs communicate with my nervous system? Across my residual line are electrodes that measure the electrical pulse of my muscles. That's communicated to the bionic line. So when I think about moving my Benton line, the robot tracks those movement designs. This diagram shows fundamentally how the bionic line is controlled. So we model the missing biological line, and we have discovered that reflex occurred. How the reflexes of the spinal cord are controlling the muscles. That capability is embedded in the chip of bionic legs. What we have done, then, is we model that the sensitivity of the reflex, the model spinal reflex, with the neural signal. So when I relax my muscles in my residual line, I get very little toggle and power. And the more I fire my muscles, the more toggle I get, and I can even run. And that was my first demonstration of running gait under neutral command. Feels great. We want to go to a stage further. We want to actually close the loop between the human and the bionic external life. We are doing experiments where we are growing nerves, transected nerves, through channels, or micro-channel arrays. On the other side of the channel, the nerve then attaches to cells, skin cells and muscle cells. In the motor channels, we can sense how the person wishes to move. That can be sent out wirelessly to the bionic line. Then sensory information on the bionic line can be converted to stimulations in adjacent channels, sensory channels. So when this is full, developed and for human use. Persons like myself will not only have synthetic lines that move like flesh and bone, but actually feel like flesh and bone. His video shows Lisa Melody shortly after being fitted with two bionic lines. Indeed, bionics is making a profound difference in people's lives. Lisa Melody. Oh my god, and oh my god, I can't believe it. And it's just like I've got a real leg, woman. Now, don't start running, man. Now turn around and do the same thing walking up, or get on your heel to toe, like you would normally just walk on level ground. Try to walk right up the hill. Oh my god, is it pushing you up? Yes, I can't even describe it. It's pushing you right up. Next week, I'm visiting the center. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Next week, I'm visiting the Center for Medicare and the Medicaid Services, and I'm going to try to convince CNAs to grant appropriate code, language, and precincts, so this technology can be made available to a patients that need it. Thank you. It's not well appreciated, but over half of the world's population suffers from some form of cognition, emotional, sensory, or motor condition, and because of poor technological, too often, conditions result in disability and a poorer quality of life. Basic levels of physiological function should be a part of our human rights. Every person should have the right to live life without disability if they so choose. The right to live life without severe depression. The right to see a loved one, in the case of seeing impaired, or the right to walk or to dance, in the case of limb paralysis or limb amputation. As a society, we can achieve these human rights if we accept the proposition that humans are not disabled. A person can never be broken. Our built environment, our technologies are broken and disabled. We the people need not accept our limitations, but can transcend disability through technological innovation. Indeed, through fundamental advances in bionics in this century, we will set the technological foundation for an enhanced human experience, and we will end disability. I'd like to finish out with one more story, a beautiful story. The story of Adrienne Hess Davis. And Adrienne lost her left leg in a Boston terrorist attack. I met Adrienne when this photo was taken. Sporting Rehabilitation Hospital. Adrienne is a dancer, a ballroom dancer. Adrienne breathes and lip dance. It is her expression. It is her art form, naturally. When she lost her line in the Boston terrorist attack, she wanted to return to a dance floor. After meeting her and driving home in my car, I thought, I am an MIT professor. I have resources. Let's build her a bionic line to enable her to go back to a life of dance. involving MIT scientists with expertise in prosthetics, robotics, machine learning, and biomechanicals, and over a 200-day research period. We studied dance. We brought in dancers with biological life, and we study how they move, what forces they apply on the dance floor, and we took those data and we put forth fundamental principles of dance, reflexive dance capability, and we embedded that intelligence into a bionic life. Bionics is not only about making people stronger and faster. Our expression of humanity can be embedded into electromechanics. It was 3.5 seconds between the bombs placed in Boston terrorist attack. In 3.5 seconds, the criminal and cowards took at the rear of the dance floor. In 200 days, we put her back. We will not be intimidated, brought down, diminished, conquered, or stopped by acts of violence. Ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to introduce Adrienne Haslett Davis. Her first performance Science Attack. She's dancing with Christian Leiter. Music, Ring My Bell, performed by Enrico Iglesias. Ladies and gentlemen, members of the research team, Elliot, Rose, and Nathan Vilegaray-Koski. Elliot and Nathan. Thank you for your listening. I'm Nathan, and my number is S0341008. And see you next time. Bye bye.